Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden State is trembling, and it's not from an earthquake. President Trump has stormed into California, sending shockwaves through the liberal establishment. With the precision of a surgeon and the force of a tsunami, he's diagnosing the state's ills and prescribing a heavy dose of America First medicine. But will the patient survive the treatment? Or is California too far gone? Let's dive into the West Coast showdown in this special report. Now, listen up, Patriots. While President Trump battles the liberal machine in California, there is another fight brewing, the battle for a financial future. Our country's national debt has skyrocketed past $35 trillion, and we're borrowing just to pay interest. Meanwhile, gold has surged past $2,400 an ounce. The writing's on the wall, folks. It's time to protect your wealth with something the Constitution recognizes as real money, gold and silver. Call that number on the screen, Global Gold Investments at 888-700-4148. Mention Next News for their 5-star treatment and a free 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Don't wait. Call 888-700-4148 or visit IRAGoldproof.com. Remember, if you don't have gold, you don't have wealth. So we're going to set the stage right now because retribution is coming. And the Dilly Meme team has launched an amazing ad. Now, if you're a child of the 80s, as I am, then you are going to love this. Let's watch.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Yeah, how about that for setting the tone? So, President Trump was in California, and what's interesting here is we've got lots of clips to go through. So, here is where, listen, during that debate, they brought up that fine people on both sides, quote, and they continue to spread that lie, despite the fact that it's been fact-checked. Here is Trump reacting to that.
Times of the 11 times, I don't think he had the right to. He corrected me 11 times of the 11 times. I don't think he had the right to correct me at all. Didn't correct her once. Like on Project 2025, I have no idea about. It had nothing to do with me. He didn't correct her. He knew that. Charlottesville, nothing was done wrong. All you had to do is read my statement one more sentence, and you would have seen that. Sean Hannity, he corrected me 11 times.
They're going to take that out of context too. He says Charlottesville, nothing was done wrong. So they're going to go ahead and take that out of context, no question. And what's interesting, a Harris spokesperson claims that Kamala couldn't be fact-checked during the debate because she didn't tell any lies.
Well, were you surprised the moderators did not interrupt her or fact check her to the degree they did Donald Trump. In the end, I mean, you go into this meticulously planning things, right? That had to surprise you somewhat.
Well, the funny thing about fact checking is it only really is relevant when you're telling lies. And the vice president wasn't really telling lies on stage.
Yeah, of course. She certainly was. Now, President Trump was out there in California in Kamala's backyard. And he said, we're going to help the people there. Now, if you don't know, there's a serious problem with houses sliding into the Pacific. And President Trump, we've got lots of clips to get through today from this press conference. But listen to this.
Problem.
And getting back to some questions that matter to the people of California, there are a lot of folks here who feel like they were forgotten men and women. The state government doesn't seem to care, but you are coordinating with the local mayor. What can you do to help this community either now or when you get elected?
Well, we're going to help them, and I told John, the local mayor, but I told John we're going to help him with his slide problem. You know, there are ways of fixing that. We discussed it. He knows better than anybody. And he needs help from the federal government. He needs help from the state government. And it's a very wealthy area, but you also have people living here that are elderly and have fixed incomes and have houses that are going to be, you know, shoved into the Pacific Ocean if something's not done. And he wants it taken care of. He's a great mayor. He wants it taken care of. He wants nothing for himself. He just wants to help these people. And John, I think you said you have about 600 houses on the site that's sliding.
Wow.
And he'd like to be able to save those houses for people, that some of which will never be able to have a house again.
600 houses are all at risk there. Now, addressing the issue of sanctuary cities, here's what President Trump had to say today.
For example, Governor, a quick question. So you just said that you'll carry out the largest mass deportation of illegal immigrants. How are you going to have, for example, Governor Gavin Newsom or officials in sanctuary cities comply with that?
Well, you know, if you go to the people of California, they don't want to have sanctuary cities anymore. They're tired of sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are really blocks that protect bad people from deportation and other problems. And they're going to do it. And our federal government has tremendous power. But we're not going to let states, even like California, even though I know it's largely a sanctuary state, essentially, but we're not going to let that happen to the people of California. They want these people out. They're just as scared as everybody else. The people of Ohio are scared. The people of Colorado, you have a governor there who's very weak. He doesn't know what to do. And he doesn't want to talk about it. A lot of it, as per your question, they don't want to talk about what's happening. They say it's so bad for the city. Let's not go public. Let's live with it for a little while. Maybe it'll go away. It's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. It's going to get so bad. You know what we're experiencing now is they're just getting settled in.
Yep.
There's 21 million people that have come in. They're just getting settled in. It's going to get much worse. It's going to get
much worse, my friends. President Trump knows it, and Kamala Harris does not care. And if you didn't know, now those newcomers, they're going to get $150,000. Here's Trump addressing that.
I think the governors, in the face of this crisis, the Kamala Harris Democrats in Sacramento, they're in Sacramento and all over the place, just passed a bill that I think the governor's rejecting. I hope he rejects, but I think he was given a lot of pressure. $150,000 home loans for only illegal aliens. But the fact that it even passed, I would imagine he'd reject it if he hasn't already done so. They also passed a law that allows state authorities to take children from their parents if they don't, quote, affirm their child's gender identity. When Kamala Harris said the values that she has have never changed, I really think that was probably the only true statement that she made. They've stayed true, and you look at what they are. They're the same as what they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They want to confiscate your guns. They want to take your guns away. They're going to take your guns away if I'm not elected. Anybody that owns a gun, if you vote for them, you're crazy.
Yeah, you certainly are crazy. But that is Trump derangement syndrome. In effect, President Trump also weighing in on the oil crisis that we are now facing, talking about how we're buying our oil from Venezuela.
Now, Maduro, it was perfect. The country was perfect. We were drilling, we were taking it out. Now we're buying our oil from Venezuela. It's not even believed. It's interesting. They give him billions of dollars now, Maduro, the dictator. I call him the owner of Venezuela. They give him billions and billions of dollars, but then they foreclose on his plane. They take away an old junky plane. It's not a good plane. They take away an old junky plane. And I said, well, it's okay. He'll buy a much better one.
Oh, man.
We give him, think of it, a country takes away his airplane, but pays him billions of dollars for their oil, which is the worst oil on the planet. It's tar. And it has to be refined. There's only one plant in the entire world that can refine that junk. And you know where it's located? In Houston, Texas, for the environmentalists. So Houston, Texas is refining tar, and that stuff is going up into the air. It's the only place in the whole world that can refine that very bad stuff. The state is rapidly going busted with a record $68 billion budget deficit last year. $68 billion deficit for a state. And the government is so incompetent that it costs $1.7 million to install a single public toilet in San Francisco. They built a toilet for $1.7 million. And it's not even nice. I saw pictures of it. I built this whole thing for less than that. It was perfect. The country...
Oh, man. $1.7 million for a toilet. Oh, man. I mean, I guess there's pictures. Does Trump have a gold toilet? Is that true? I don't know if it's true, but $1.7 million for a toilet. Yeah, talk about waste. Oh, man, and him trashing the oil in Venezuela. That was sweet. Oh, man. Okay, so he also went after Comrade Kamala for destroying the economy and the quality of life across our country. Are you feeling it?
President, Comrade Kamala Harris and the communist left have also destroyed the economy and the quality of life all across this state and all across our country. As vice president, what she's done to our country is not even thinkable. California has the highest inflation, the highest taxes, the highest gas prices, the most illegal aliens, the most regulations, the most expensive utilities, and it ranks as the third worst state to start a business. It also has the most people leaving it. I love this place. Look at this. I own this. No partners, no mortgage, no nothing. I own it. And I'm talking so badly about the state. It hurts me to do it. I would never do this except for the fact that I'm running for president and I want to save the country. So I'd rather sacrifice this than lie or not speak. But think of it. I'm knocking the hell out of the state of California. I'm saying how bad she was and what a bad job she's done. What a horrible governor Newsom has been. He's been horrible.
Newsom.
So many people leaving. And I'm hurting my own property. And that cost me lots of money. But it's okay because this is unimportant compared to saving the United States of America. So I do.
And that's what he's going to do. He's going to save this country, my friends. And that's why he's out there. He also brought up the fact that the premier statistical agency at the Justice Department announced that since 2020, violent crime is up, despite the fact of what you heard at that debate.
Said crime is going. In breaking news yesterday, the premier statistical agency at the Justice Department, you remember where David Muir tried to correct me when I said that crime is rampant like never before. He said, oh, no. He said, crime is going down. I said, where are you coming from? And, you know, you wouldn't have to need a Bureau of Justice statistics to know that crime is worse than it's ever been. And I guess they probably watched the debate and they heard this foolish man, this foolish fool make that statement to me that, no, crime is coming down. The FBI said it was coming down. The FBI defrauded everybody because what they did is they used statistics not including some of the worst areas and some of the worst cities. So the real numbers are from the Bureau of Justice Statistics, and they just released it. So I think they probably like me because they wanted to defend me from people that are not smart, from a guy who has good hair, but not as good as it was 5 years ago, to be honest. And they just released brand new numbers, just out last night, late, showing that since 2020, so this guy, David Muir, was correcting me, the FBI. Now, the FBI defrauded, just like they defrauded on the jobs, 118,000 jobs that didn't exist. The FBI, in this case, defrauded. So violent crime, just out, nationwide is up 40%. Rape is up 42%. Car theft is up 42%. Aggravated assaults are up 55%. And violent attacks on strangers are up much more than 61%.
Wow. That's where we are. That is Joe Biden's America, my friends. And that is what you'll get if you vote for Kamala Harris. But President Trump is pledging to keep this country safe. And that's what we all want.
I completed because we built hundreds of miles of wall, and we had hundreds of miles, I said, after we completed, much more than I said I was going to complete, and it had a huge impact. But after I completed it, we had all of this wall to be put up. It could have been put up in 200 miles, could have been put up in 3 weeks, would have been totally sealed, and much larger than I originally said, but it worked so well. We were doing so well. And not only didn't they put it up, they sold much of it for 5 cents on the dollar. Very expensive wall, has wires inside of it for technology. Hardened steel, hardened concrete, and rebar. They wanted all three. I did it as per the Border Patrol. I disagreed with the look. They said, sir, this is the only way. We had to put a anti-climb panel on top. The panel on top is an anti-climb panel. I said, I don't like the way it looks. They say, I know, but it stops people from climbing. I said, all right. We'll do it the way you want. A president has a duty to keep you safe. Kamala will turn America into a poor, violent, third world refugee camp. It already sort of is. We have elections that are a mess, and we have a border that's the worst of any border ever in the world. There's never been a country ever in the world that's allowed 21 million people to come across in a short period of time. And children and the children of American citizens are at the mercy of barbaric criminals. You take a look at what's happening in Colorado. The governor's afraid to even talk about it. The governor is a Democrat. Colorado, I hope you're going to vote for Trump because you're being stampeded by your own politicians. The governor can't talk about it because he can't go against the policies of these lunatics that want all these people to come into our country without knowing who they are. We don't even know where they come from. As of last week, I was told by Tom Homan, we had 168 countries represented over the last 12 months.
Wow.
In other words, people came in illegally from 168 different countries. Most people don't know there's that many countries. There's more than that in the world.
Wow. Absolutely insane. Wow. Over the past 3.5 years, Kamala has resettled 500,000 migrants from Haiti into our communities, including over 200,000 who Kamala has flown into the United States. Let's listen to how Trump's responding.
People running. If you look at Caracas, Venezuela, they took their criminals and drug dealers and rapists off the street and they dumped them into the United States of America. Dumping ground, they call it. We're a dumping ground for Venezuela. Because we have stupid people running our country. And you think Biden's bad? This one's going to be worse than Biden. Over the past 3.5 years, Kamala has resettled 500,000 illegal migrants from Haiti into American communities, including over 200,000 who Kamala has illegally flown into the United States by airplane when they couldn't get through the border because the border guards backed up. They were refusing to let them in. They don't want it. They love this country. They're saying, you can't do this to our country. They flew them in right over the top of the border guards. And they're doing it right now. They're doing it right now.
Unreal.
In Springfield, Ohio, 20,000 illegal Haitian migrants have descended upon a town of 58,000 people, destroying their way of life. They've destroyed the place. And people don't like to talk about it because even the town doesn't like to talk about it. because it sounds so bad for the town. They live there. They're proud. They love the town. For years, it was a great place, safe, nice. Now they have 20,000, and I actually heard today it's 32,000, the new number. Illegal aliens are now coming in from all over the world, from prisons, jails, mental institutions. They're coming in at levels that we've never seen before. We cannot let this happen. Place. And people don't like to talk about it because even the town doesn't like to talk about it because it sounds so bad for the town. They live there. They're proud. They love the town. For years, it was a great place, safe, nice. Now they have 20,000, and I actually heard today it's 32,000.
32,000. Imagine what that would do to the fabric of your community. If all these people from a culture across the world suddenly settled in your community, it would cause a culture shock that you would not be able to sustain. And that's what's happening in Ohio. That's so sad. But that's the plan. That's the plan. That's what they want to do. They're working overtime to destroy this country from within, to turn it into a third world country. So these people won't even recognize what freedom is because they don't even know what it is. And they'll just vote for whatever handouts are promised. Here's more from the president.
In 2020, Kamala Harris, her destruction of the law and order in California did not end there. In 2020, Kamala Harris proudly endorsed defund the police. We're going to defund the police. Anybody that was even in favor of defunding the police for 1 month, let alone her entire career, should never be president of the United States. She supported a plan to cut the LA Police Department by at least 150.
Wow.
Very significant heights. Today, it's at the highest level it's ever been. Harris also endorsed the Marxist, Soros-backed prosecutor, George Gascon, to be district attorney of Los Angeles. And with Kamala's support, Gascon has unleashed hell upon the residents of Los Angeles, absolute hell. Kamala supported Gascon's decision to stop prosecuting criminals for trespassing, disturbing the peace, making criminal threats, loitering to commit prostitution, and resisting arrest. And these are some of the best areas in your state. They were left alone. They were protected by him, actually protected by him. They've been trying to get him out for a long time, but she helped. And this is where she's coming from as president. This is where she's coming from. This is why all of her policies changed. She was anti-fracking. She was anti-everything. And all of a sudden, she changed.
Yeah. Conveniently changed, right? But her values haven't changed, right? Remember that. Let's listen. This is our last clip from this.
I'm here today in California with a very simple message for the American people. We cannot allow Comrade Kamala Harris and the communist left to do to America what they did to California. The state of California is a mess with people leaving, and nothing's going to stop them. They're going to other states. Some are going to other countries. But what they've done, Gavin Newsom and Kamala, and I want to say Kamala more so, she destroyed San Francisco and she destroyed the state. When you look at the kind of destruction that's taken place, it's all man-made or woman-made destruction, too. It's things that should have never happened, but we're not going to let that happen with 4 more years of her in the White House, because if you have what happened to this country as what they allowed to happen in California and San Francisco, one of the great cities of the world 15 years ago, and today it's not in a very good position, to put it mildly, in this state, which is probably the best piece of real estate in the world, this state. You have the sunshine, you have the ocean, you have everything. You have the perfect weather, the best weather, and they've hurt it so badly.
So Trump's California crusade is more than just a campaign stop. It's a battle for the very heart and soul of America. He's shining a spotlight on the failures of liberal policies, from skyrocketing crime to economic decline. But more importantly, he's offering hope to millions of forgotten Californians. This is not just about winning a state. It's about reclaiming the American dream. And the Golden State may be tarnished, but with Trump's vision, it might just shine again.